Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. I believe some of the female cast members may have joined the recent season of 90 Day, the last resort in part to prove a point to their partners. I appreciated the concept of troubled couples from the franchise attending marriage counseling to work on their issues. In Season 1, Yara Zaya and Jovi Dufresne addressed their communication struggles and ultimately became stronger together. Likewise, therapy helped other couples realize they were better off apart. Molly Hopkins ended things with her boyfriend, Kelly Brown, and they both moved on with their lives. In December 2024, the network premiered 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 2, featuring some of the franchise's most recognized couples seeking professional help to improve their relationships. Jasmine Pineda and Gino Palazzolo sought support for their intimacy issues, while Sophie Sierra and Rob Warren aimed to address their trust concerns and decide the future of their marriage. Julia Trubkina and Brandon Gibbs needed guidance on compromising and aligning on their family planning goals. Additionally, Stacey Silva participated in the season to work through concerns about Florian Sukaja's flirtatious behavior. I believe therapy can be incredibly valuable for many 90-day fiancé couples as they navigate challenges, and I respect the efforts of therapists who help them work toward resolution. Still, this season left me feeling conflicted because I sensed that some cast members may have had underlying motivations for participating. Jasmine had faced intimacy struggles with Gino since early in their relationship. Although she married him, which implied a genuine commitment, she quickly brought up the idea of an open marriage after entering therapy, suggesting she had already been contemplating it. Not long after, she pressured Gino to consider involving Matt Brannis in the arrangement. I was surprised by how quickly she introduced such a significant change without giving Gino much time to process it. It began to feel like Jasmine's participation in the season was more about shaping a narrative, especially when she became upset with Rob for suggesting they bring in someone besides Matt. To me, it didn't seem like she was focused on resolving things with Gino. Instead, she appeared to be deepening her connection with Matt, who had already become her confidant. I'm a longtime fan of Ariella Weinberg, but I got the impression that her reason for joining the show wasn't to genuinely reconcile with Binyam Shiver. It came across as if she was more focused on highlighting his past mistakes, both to their castmates and the audience. Unfortunately, that strategy didn't seem to work in her favor. She struggled to bond with the other women on the show, and they didn't rally behind her when she called out Binyam. I found it curious how often Ariella pushed Binyam to admit to infidelity, rather than prioritizing deeper healing or other marital concerns. It often felt like Ariella was trying to spotlight her efforts in the relationship, subtly suggesting that Binyam wasn't contributing equally. Her narrative seemed more focused on portraying Binyam as a partner who hurt her, rather than seeking forgiveness or growth together. Choosing not to share a room with Binyam during the retreat signaled to me that she might not have intended to leave the show as a reunited couple. Even at the tell-all, she looked more relieved than heartbroken when Binyam admitted to cheating. I've never been particularly fond of Rob, but I do feel Sophie's actions also deserve scrutiny. When she moved to the U.S., she was already aware that Rob had previously interacted inappropriately with other women online. Despite that, she proceeded with the marriage. I would have had more respect for her decision-making if she had ended things before the wedding. Instead, she moved out shortly after and maintained an on-again, off-again relationship with Rob for nearly 2 years. During the tell-all for Season 2, she accused Rob of being abusive. It's hard to reconcile Sophie's accusation with her later admission that she had been intimate with Rob after their breakup at the recommitment ceremony. That moment made me question whether the situation was as straightforward as it seemed. It raised the possibility that Sophie may have used the show to portray Rob in a negative light, perhaps to gain viewer sympathy or support from her fellow cast members. While I'm not excusing Rob's behavior, it seemed possible that Sophie had her own motivations for returning to the screen with him. I've always supported Julia and Brandon since their early days on the franchise. Despite their clear personality differences, they've made their relationship work and remained committed. Still, I was disappointed by Julia's actions in the last being unfaithful, and she didn't express much remorse, saying she confessed mainly to relieve her own guilt. I was impressed with how Brandon handled the revelation and chose to forgive her. Julia repeatedly avoided seeking a second opinion from American doctors about her fertility challenges, which was frustrating to witness. I was relieved when she finally agreed. However, my support for her began to fade when she gave Brandon an ultimatum regarding her parents' immigration. It felt like she was leveraging the platform more to pressure Brandon into helping with their visa applications than to strengthen their marriage. While she stated that therapy was a learning experience, her demands made it appear she may have had other priorities during her time on 90 Day, the last resort. She knew what buttons to push. She played the vulnerable victim card with finesse, but also maintained sharp control over the pacing of their story. Jasmine didn't just want reconciliation, she wanted redemption, airtime, and a fresh storyline. She shifted between pain and power like a seasoned reality show pro, and it worked. Even when she was being unreasonable, viewers were glued to her next move. Angela Deem walked into the last resort as the franchise's resident firestarter. But beneath the bluster, Angela was playing a calculated game. Her volatile outbursts, wild accusations, and larger-than-life personality weren't just random. They were strategic. Angela knows how to hijack a room, dominate a group scene, and make every situation about her. She was less interested in resolving things with Michael than she was in reminding the producers and the audience that she still runs the show. Her scenes with the other women weren't about bonding or healing. They were about asserting dominance. And when the women pushed back or questioned her behavior, Angela flipped the script and made herself the victim again. Liz Woods may appear quiet next to someone like Angela, but don't let that soft voice fool you. She's learned how to adapt and survive, especially in a relationship with someone as emotionally volatile as Big Ed. But this season, Liz showed a subtler kind of gameplay. She aligned herself with the girl group only when it benefited her. When things got tense, she stepped back and let others take the heat, preserving her image as the reasonable one. She let Angela and Jasmine take center stage with their drama, while quietly working on her narrative of growth, maturity, and independence. Was she sincere? Maybe. But she was also highly aware of how she looked on screen, and carefully avoided being the villain. Yara Zaya is polished, stylish, and seemingly drama-averse, but behind that poised exterior is someone who knows how to get what she wants without creating the kind of explosive scenes others are known for. She plays the long game. Instead of confrontations, Yara uses silence, passive resistance, and occasional guilt-tripping to shape her relationship with Jovi. This season, her strategy was simple: present herself as the most sane woman in the group. And it worked. While others were crying or shouting, Yara came off as balanced and grounded. But make no mistake, she was playing the image game. She wanted the audience's sympathy and trust without revealing too much of her own flaws. Kalani Fagata had perhaps the most heartbreaking storyline of the season, dealing with infidelity, betrayal, and emotional disconnect with Asuelu. And yet, even she wasn't just reacting, she was maneuvering. Kalani carefully revealed details about her past and current emotional state to control how the audience would perceive her. Yes, she was hurt. Yes, she had every right to be angry. But she also made sure to highlight her strength, her emotional maturity, and her role as the one trying to keep things together for her family. She subtly minimized her own questionable actions while putting a spotlight on Asuelu's failings, a classic PR strategy, intentional or not. The truth is, The Last Resort was never just a retreat for couples to heal. It was a competition of screen time, sympathy, and storyline survival. The women weren't just fighting for their relationships, they were fighting to stay relevant. In the world of reality TV, that means knowing when to cry, when to scream, when to confess, and when to step back. Does that mean they weren't also experiencing real emotions? Of course not. But reality TV is a magnifying glass. And the most media-savvy cast members know how to lean into it while still protecting their long-term narrative. So no, maybe this article doesn't give me the textbook definition of a girl's girl, but it makes me an honest person. And in a reality show built on half-truths, editing tricks, and emotional sleight of hand, honesty might just be the rarest trait of all. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.